Hello.
Hello again.
Back with the Content Bite.
Yes.
Lynn and Rachel.
Yeah.
I'm Rachel, she's Lynn.
That's good. Good to make it clear.
Not that you can see us or anything.
No. So we're going to talk about finding sources for stories.
Yes. A big topic, but one which we are going to squeeze into our
10 minutes.
10 minutes. I don't think these are 10 minutes. They're more like 12 minutes.
Yeah.
We really have...
We'll pretend. See,
we've missold it.
No, I was going to say we're over-delivering.
We're adding value.
Yes.
Where possible. Okay, let's talk. You start, Lynn. What are some of your favourite ways to get sources for stories and experts and case studies?
I think because I work in interiors a lot, I find Instagram's amazing because my feeling is, and this is what has been proven from my experience, is that people that are on Instagram generally are quite media savvy and they're quite keen. They're already out there. They're already happy to be promoted. And with Instagram now, if they're a business account, you can actually press a button and call or email them. So there's usually a call or email button. And I usually get, when you do that, you get to the marketing team who are it's a great way, particularly the large building companies I work with or big franchise. I work with a lot of companies that might have a lot of franchises. It's really hard to find a contact. So I find that really good. Instagram, and it usually gives you an idea. If I'm looking for architects and interior designers, you get a good idea of their work. It's like their whole back catalogue is in there, their portfolio. So it's much better, I find too.
I do like a social media call out myself, either to my actual Facebook feed or to, pages on Facebook or to LinkedIn or Twitter. And sometimes that can drum up the right expert or the right case study. But when I'm searching I do a way more varied sort of, than just interiors. I'll do a lot of different kinds of stories than Lynn. So I have a real mixture of, how I cast my net depending on what I need. And some of my favourites are Source Bottle, Press Loft, Trav Media for journalist call-outs to travel PRs and that sort of thing. Also absolutely love the Facebook group George's Little Media Circle.
I love that. Yeah, I've found some good contacts.
Amazing for PRs, particularly travel. Also, Media Connections by Linda Reed and Never, I think.
I haven't used that.
That's a really good sort of PR platform where you can do call-outs as well for experts. And one of my favourites, if you are writing about something that requires like an academic viewpoint or, expertguide.com.au is a fantastic resource that feeds into universities all over Australia and all of their media departments. So you can get the right person really quickly. And if you can't find the right person through searching the site, it's expertguide.com.au. You can there's an email and I think you can do a call out and it goes to one media department that sends it out to all the right people.
Oh, right.
And that can be really useful as well.
I sometimes do media call-outs on Press Loft or Flaunter. So they're both sort of basically image libraries. And so they're image libraries, and so you can say I'm looking for images on a particular thing. It's great for fashion. Flaunter's really good for fashion and lifestyle, and Press Loft is really good for interiors. So that means also they have a contact for the PRs. So if you want something specific, but say you're doing a story on a particular style or a particular look or even like Mother's Day gift, and they also do compilations of stuff like Mother's Day gifts, or might be they do things like St. Patrick's Day or something, if that was your the brief, that's quite helpful. I try not to use them all the time, otherwise it could be same.
Yes.
And then I always worry that another journalist could use them as well.
Yes.
You've got to be a bit clever about what you do and what you take from them so you get a mix of people, otherwise you'll end up with the same companies.
Yes. I have to say, if you do a lot of lifestyle type stories or health stories, real life stories, anything to do with health, fitness, beauty, fashion, Social Diary is amazing for finding sources and experts and case studies. And even though it costs a fortune to subscribe to it, and usually it's big companies subscribing and putting their journos on, if you're a freelance journo and you can't afford to do it, they will still put a call out for you on their newsletter. You get some great responses. Like I think I was pitching to Body and Soul a while ago, and I had their editorial calendar, and so I just, put something out to Source Bottle based on a couple of months that I was pitching for, and I got some amazing stuff back. So they are really, really handy as well.
And that's quite good if you want sort of... I also trying to go to a marketing team and then asking for an expert within house, which is always a bit radical. So say I'm doing something technical, it might be more of if I'm thinking of interior or food or something. So you actually speak to the marketing team, ask to speak to their product manager. Now the marketing team will always get nervous, but if I use them as a background expert, so they will tell you what sort of grout to use in tiles and the stuff that the marketing team don't know. So you get their technical expert, and they're usually really clever guys and women who really know their subject matter, and sometimes I keep some of those. There's this awesome guy, Harvey Norman, that knows so much about all the small appliances, and he's fantastic. He knows, and he's non-brand specific, so he can talk about what to look like in a vacuum cleaner or something like that. So sometimes I go to a retailer and find that might have a big category or something. That's quite helpful too, who are sort of not brand loyal, so they'll just talk about the category. That's quite helpful.
Absolutely. And also using your networks on, say, Facebook, like in the Gold group at Rachel's List, or other groups like Freelance Jungle. Sometimes they will come up with amazing experts as well that you don't know.
Yes.
And that can be a quick way of finding the right person that you need. But I think we touched on this, I can't even remember which episode it was, but we touched on putting your experts in a file, instead of having them all in your head, and which is what I've done for years and years. But now I try to have them actually in an expert's file.
I have a spreadsheet,
Yeah, and then you can search for them, you can find the person you need quickly. It helps with future pitches and stuff like that. But the problem that I am currently facing, Lynn, is all my stories from years and years and years that have all these experts in the 4 subsection, I have to basically hire a VA to go through all my notes and put them in my expert file, because it's probably a week's worth of work to do all that. And
that's quite
plug them in.
Although I have to say I'm pretty bad at deleting emails, so I just put an email search, like I put a company or an expert into my email search, and it pops up all the most recent emails that I
know,
might
but
have
then
sent.
you've got to remember that expert.
No, I usually put the company or wherever they came from. So it might have been Macquarie University, or it might have been Reese Bathroom Plumbings or whatever. Yeah. And I find, I've discussed this and there. There's the tap expert or something. And that does work. I do find the tricky thing with PRs and companies is they change all the time.
Yeah.
So if you've done a story on a particular category and you do something similar, a different story on the same category a year later, a lot of the people have gone. So that's really tricky.
Yes.
That's what I find hard, keeping it up to date.
Yes. Okay, well, we don't have much time left. So we're just going to recap the ways that we find sources. Social media call-outs, particularly Instagram works for Lynn. I love LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter for doing that kind of stuff. Source Bottle, expertguide.com.au. Social Diary, great for beauty, health, fitness, fashion. Trav Media for travel call-outs, Press Loft for interiors, Media Connections for all kinds of stories and all kinds of sources. Is there anything we're missing?
The one thing I wanted to say is that when you're doing corporate content, you've got to be really clear with the source bottle, so that's going to a company website. Because I've had like architects who are more than willing to chat to me for Inside Out or Home Beautiful, but they won't talk for some of my corporate clients because they're worried about endorsing a product or something. So you've always got to be clear. And I use my PR contacts sometimes to get products onto corporate websites, and I'm always really clear so they know where it's going. And it's just that extra layer. Sometimes it's much harder to get sources who'll talk on corporate, like on content. So that's
actually a really good point when it comes, if you're writing native content, like where the content is branded by, say, a dog worming product.
Yes.
The expert, knowing that, might decline the interview because they don't want to be associated. So you do have to be really transparent with your experts. It's a great fast track to losing your experts for future stories.
Exactly.
You didn't disclose that they were going to be quoted in a story with a dog worming branding all over the story, and because
heaps of people ask me where it's going to end up,
Yeah.
And that's the other thing when you do stories for print, sometimes you don't realise it goes online, and you've got to sort of say, will this story go online and where it's going to go?
Yeah.
Because people get quite worried about that too. You've got to sort of be clear where the destination is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So I think we might have to end there because we've gone over time yet again. Neither of us have any willpower in sticking to the 10.
No, definitely not. But thank you for listening to Content Bite again.
Yes.
And send us your emails at thecontentbite@gmail.com.
And we will see you next week.
Thank you.
Bye.